It is now time for our lovely speaker this afternoon, so please give your love and attention to Frances Peterson. Welcome everyone, and thank you for coming out today on this beautiful sunny day. It was very tempting to stay home and just sit in the sun because I've got a wonderful big deck on my house, and I actually got hot this morning, so that's kind of interesting. After it was cold, of course, it was very cold. And there was, what I'm going to be talking to you today is actually contagious, and it's not negative. Interestingly enough, this afternoon before I came, I got outside and washed my car. It was desperately in need of a wash. And we all know how good the car feels when you wash it. It actually feels happier, like you do. So I was out there, and then my neighbour was out next door, and he was washing his car after we had a bit of a chat. And then when I looked down the road, another neighbour down the road was washing his car. So it's interesting how one neighbour can get out there and take advantage of the sunlight and decide to wash their car, and then a number of people have the same thought or the same feeling, wanting to do the same. But that's not the contagious thing I'm talking about today. I just want to start with a quote. And this is by the famous Phyllis Diller, from those of you who may remember her in the old days. A smile is a curve that sets everything straight. So this week, normally before I come here on a Sunday when I'm doing the talk, I always ask Spirit, okay, give me something that I'll be talking about. And they usually wait till the last minute, or I'll pick a card, and I actually didn't bring my oracle cards today. But instead, they alerted me to a post that I saw on Facebook. And what caught my eye this particular day, I think it was Thursday, there was an actual graphic of a child going up in all the ages to old age. And it showed the picture of the child with a big heart. And then as the child progressed to the older age, the heart had become small. And what it said on there was that as we get older, we lose more of our joy. We start to smile less. So I thought, well, if joy is something we feel and it's expressed through our smile, then why is it that we smile less as we get older? But I was naturally fascinated by facial expressions a number of years ago, and body language. I just feel that people let us know more about themselves through their expressions, through their facial expressions, and the way their mannerisms. And it actually led me down the path of learning about body language, and also about Chinese face reading, which is it's a form of reading all the features of our face, including the wrinkles, that tell us more about our true innate soul nature. So I pondered on what the eyes mean in regard to our face. So they say in Chinese medicine or Chinese spiritual philosophy that based on the 5 elements of nature, fire is the element that represents when we smile. So our eyes, the actual features on our face, that represents the fire energy. And so when we're children or when we're babies, we're more inclined to show more of that fire element, which is all about the heart. And in Chinese medicine, they say that the eyes are the windows to the heart. I'm sure you've all heard of that expression, but I like to add a little bit onto that. I feel that the eyes are also the windows to the soul. I follow an energy channeler called Lee Harris, and he channels a group of 88 very high spiritual beings called the Z's. And they, when I was listening to a video yesterday, kind of confirmed what I thought. And they say that the heart is the actual brain of the soul. So interestingly now, if we ponder on that and we consider that our heart is represented by the smile that we naturally make when we're happy or joyful, then of course then we see or feel more of our heart, more of our soul, and other people will see that as well, see and feel it. So I did some research. I wanted to know what is so important about a smile. So what I found is that, and there's kind of a little bit of There's not a lot of certainty exactly about how many muscles are in our face, but they say on an average there's about 43 muscles in our face, and it only takes 13 muscles to smile. And yet, to frown, it takes about 40. So why would we not smile more and have less wrinkles? Interestingly, as I did more research, because I love research, about 30 of us smile 20 times per day, 14% of us smile maybe 5 times per day, and happy people apparently smile 40 to 50 times per day. And get this, young children can smile up to 400 times a day. Now, I don't know how they worked that out. They must have had a little smile monitor on these children for a whole day. And that's just maybe a generalisation, I don't know. So what is important about a smile? So interestingly enough, there's a lot of benefits. And according to some university studies, a smile makes you more instantly likeable. You appear more courteous. It can boost your competency. It uplifts your mood. And you also live longer. And who doesn't want to live longer? Smiling impacts our health in a powerfully positive way. It actually lowers our heart rate. It improves our immune system. It can improve our endurance. And it reduces our pain. It's a natural pain reducer. And science also reveals that when we smile, it spurs a chemical reaction in our brain that actually lowers cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and then it actually increases our happy hormones, the endorphins, the dopamine, the serotonin. So I wonder if you would humour me just for a moment and smile back at me. I promise you I'll smile at you too. So I'm going to be looking. And did you know what makes a genuine smile? It's those joy lines, not the crow's feet, the actual joy lines at the corners of our eyes. And interestingly, it's when the muscles beside the mouth go up, and the eyes, the actual muscles beside the eyes go up together. Now you can smile, and smile now just without moving your mouth, just a straight line. Does that look like a smile? It's not. No. And what does it make you feel like? It doesn't feel good, does it? So there are fake smiles, but interestingly, the brain doesn't know any difference. So if you were to even fake a smile, all these benefits that we incur when we smile does make a difference. So I wonder if you could humour me even more. And I'd like you to turn to your neighbour, if you have one beside you here, and turn and smile at your neighbour. Genuine smile, mouth up, crinkly eyes. Okay, if you haven't got anyone to smile at me. And I want to take it one step further, interestingly enough. I would like you to say to your neighbour now, see how it makes you more likeable all this straight away? I would like you to say to your neighbour now, authentically, you've got a beautiful smile. So there you go. That was the thing I was going to talk about. That's contagious, isn't it? Was that contagious? And that's something contagious that we can actually do. So why don't we smile more? And why is it that as adults we smile less than as we were when we were children? So if we think about it for a moment, we get negatively impacted by negative people. So that's an energy thing, it's a vibration. We get impacted by negative events, challenges, and what can happen when we go through challenges that, things are not so positive, it can have a negative impact on our emotions. So the opposite of happiness or joy would be bitterness, resentment, anger, frustration, and fear, doubt, all of those kind of emotions that we wouldn't consider positive. And interestingly, as I searched even further, There's a study done, a lot of these studies are done in America. I'd like to see more studies done here in Australia, but they did a study where they discovered that we actually start to lose our sense of humour at age 23. And so they say that sense of humour, joy, smiling, it's pretty good up until around then, and then it drops off. And maybe because in America, I think they go to college, and then they go to uni, and then they finish around that age, and then they've got to get out into the workforce. So things change. So the culprit could be that we're no longer children, we're not feeling the same sense of freedom that we would experience as a child. Our needs are looked after as children, whereas not necessarily so when we're older. We have to actually look after ourselves. There's a greater sense of responsibility. And as children have this natural sense of enthusiasm. A sunny day, let's get outside, let's play. They have their favourite toys, or many favourite toys I'm seeing, and they love a hug, and it's just it's simpler as children, whereas it becomes more complicated as we get older. And of course, we're living in an era right now where life is really complicated, isn't it? We're going through a major transformation. We're going through a world change. We're going through a time where a lot of the structures that we have had for hundreds, thousands of years are going to start to dismantle. And our consciousness, our physical consciousness, may be a little bit fearful of that. But our soul knows better. Our soul actually knows that there's wonderful things ahead. And from what I've heard astrologically, next year by July, things are going to look so much better. So we can look forward to that. So then they were saying, yes, that it kind of dips, that sense of joy, fun, smiling dips until we reach our twilight years. And when I looked at the graph of that, it showed that 75 was the twilight years, and I thought, when was this research done? And do I have to wait till I'm 75 before I can be smiling again? So maybe it's because as we get older, and I'm in my 60s, we may find that we're hopefully able to work maybe a bit less and do more of those fun things that we really enjoy doing, spending time with our loved ones, with grandchildren, if you're fortunate enough to have grandchildren. So smiling not only has an impact on us personally, it actually has an impact on us socially as well, and culturally, and on our society. So even the big political leaders know the magic of a smile. And I don't know if anybody else was silly enough to watch the debate between the two big leaders in the US. But when I went to see it on the YouTube channel, because I love YouTube and I love watching videos, and I saw it come up, and I thought, I don't think I'm going to watch that. But the actual graphic, or the actual picture they had of the two leaders, was of both of them smiling, and it was a genuine smile that they had, and they actually looked quite magnetic. So I don't know if it was a bit of AI that did that, or but of course I was tempted to watch that video, and then unfortunately I watched their actual facial expressions change during the debate. And Mr. T had the upside down smile. Our smile, as I said, goes up. His was quite upside down. It was a bit of a train. But just be aware that a smile can break down barriers. We can meet and we can make friends more easily when we smile. Especially if it's someone you don't know. If you're walking down the street, or for me, I live near the Lilydale Lake, it's just natural for me to smile at people, because when you think about it, and as I was saying earlier, if our smile represents the twinkle in our eye, that, because of the crease in the eyes and the mouth going up, and the smile opening up our heart and opening us up to more of that connection with our soul, isn't it natural that we would like to connect with people more on that level? Unfortunately, there's been, with all the circumstances of life that we live through, we tend to put a barrier between ourselves. And we kind of, nobody comes within this space, nobody is going to impact me with their negativity. But sometimes even people that look upset, if you were just to smile at them, it can just make the world of difference. And you don't know how you may be changing that person's life. So smiles can inspire hope, it can build greater rapport. And a person called Maxie Sturman coined the phrase that a smile is the universal welcome. It builds trust. Apparently 73% of us really trust somebody with a smile on their face rather than somebody that doesn't. And of course, you've all heard the phrase, laughter is the best medicine. Yeah? We've all heard of that. So I figured maybe that smiling comes a close second. Interestingly, if you compare laughing and smiling, I wondered what the difference was. And what I discovered is when we laugh, we're laughing in response to something that we hear that's funny, or often it's unexpected. And sometimes it's not always positive. How many times have you heard a comedian tell, a bit off-centre joke, but we still laugh, don't we? Whereas smiles are often connected to positive experiences. So laughing is actually more of a social response. We tend to do that when we're surrounded by other people or, watching other people. Smiling actually is more of a personal response because we often smile and we may not realise it when we're thinking our private thoughts. And I'm not going to ask you what private thoughts you're thinking, or if we're reading something or we're looking at something. So it makes me wonder if maybe smiling is the best medicine, because we're more than likely experiencing more alone time when you think about it. We're not always surrounded by other people. So, of course, unless you're watching multiple reruns of Friends, which I tend to do, and inspiring that sense of smiling and laughter from that. So here's another quote that I like. I do like quotes. And this is by a gentleman called Tom Wilson. He says, "A smile is happiness you'll find right under your nose." Well, I beg to add to that, and also above your nose, because your eyes are so important. And how often do we find that we look into people's eyes before we look at the rest of the face? So a smile can make you feel happier. It is actually good for your heart. Even Heart Math, an organisation that studies the heart and the health of the heart, will confirm that. It boosts our immune system. It lowers our stress instantly. It can symbolise happiness, joy, and social harmony. And we signal to others that we're more open to connection when we smile. And personally, smiling can increase our magnetism and our attraction. It can actually increase your self-confidence, and everyone is attractive. Everyone is attractive when they smile. So keep that smile happening. I know they say that you can't keep smiling for too long because it actually can feel like it strains your face, but then it just goes to show you haven't been smiling enough. So when I was a young girl, I actually earned the name Smiley, and everyone who knew me and met me commented on my beautiful smile. Now, maybe it was based on conditioning from parents, strict parents, Dutch parents, family of 7 children, Catholic family, and the discipline that we incurred, that maybe we were taught to smile. It's how you behave, and it's to be polite. But I find that if I look back, I felt that I really did love meeting people. Even though I was extremely shy, there was a part of me that just really wanted to get to know people. And I love observing people. And of course, now down the track, I've gone to understand people even more because I wanted to learn, about face reading, etc. So smiling is free. It costs you nothing. It helps us to deal with adversity. Even smiling when things are at their toughest can create a chemical reaction that softens the edges of that adversity that we're experiencing, because our brains don't know the difference. But our brains, our own brains may not discern the difference between a fake smile and a genuine smile. But if you meet someone, you will actually, and they're smiling, you may sense there's a feeling associated with whether you know someone is genuine or not. I remember back to the time during the pandemic. That was contagious, wasn't it? Something that was going around then. And we were all forced to don a face mask, weren't we? And we had to cover our noses and mouths. So when I went for my walks around the lake, which is just down the road from me, I actually would smile at people even if I had a mask on. And there was a time when we were allowed out more and I noticed that people were smiling. But it can be hard, of course, we're covering that part of the face that I said. We need to have both the mouth and the eyes crinkling at the same time. So I often wondered when I look at people if they could see the sparkle in my eye, which is representative of when you are smiling genuinely. Or whether they thought I was grimacing, because they could look the same. But I'm hoping, that actual energy, that vibration, that frequency of that soul connection, that heart communication through the smile would actually reach them. So, here's a fun fact. I love facts. Researchers found out that one smile can generate the same level of brain stimulation as up to 2,000 bars of chocolate. How the hell did they work that one out? I don't know. But just a couple of bars of my favourite dark chocolate that I hide away in my bathroom cupboard does exactly the same. Now, when I was studying a bit of body language a few years ago, there's a lady called Vanessa Van Edwards from the Science of People Laboratory. And she actually on her website showed a video of a man on a subway on his phone where he was talking to a friend and he started to laugh. He just started to laugh hilariously. And they videoed the reaction of the people around them. And some people were on their phones and they were kind of looking skeptically at him thinking, what's he on about? But do you know, eventually all the people in that particular carriage were either laughing or smiling with him and having no idea what he was laughing at. So just ponder on that, how you, just through even smiling, can be so contagious to make a difference in other people's lives. So if smiling is free therapy that we can do for ourselves and help to navigate this crazy world we're in, then why would we not do it more? I wonder what we can do to ensure that we find more humour and smile more often and not have to wait till those twilight years, 75. So when I thought about that, I thought about, well, what makes me smile? And maybe you can just go tick in your mind if it kind of resonates with you too. So I'm old enough to be blessed with 4 grandchildren. So whenever I spend time with my grandchildren, they automatically make me smile. I get down on the floor and I play with them, I hug them, I hold them, I observe the milestones they're going through. And clapping your hands is actually a good reminder to smile too. That's something I've learned as well. And they love it, kids love it when you applaud them. Watching more comedies. I love watching comedies on TV, Friends. Waking up in the morning and hearing the birds chirping outside, that always puts an instant smile on my face. I open up the curtains, I'll look out and I'll look at the sky, look at the cloud formations, and that instantly makes me smile. Spending time with pets. Now, I lost my beautiful 20-year-old cat last year, so certainly wasn't smiling then. But I've got 3 goldfish, and I do actually talk to them and smile at them when they come to the front of the bowl and tell me it's feeding time. What are the other things? Being out in nature and drinking up all the beauty around us. And what a perfect day was today. And I hope you all had that chance to be outside. Dancing. I love dancing with my friends. All of them know that I particularly smile quite broadly when AC/DC plays. I love going to the beach, of course, with my friends as well, and that instantly puts a smile on my face. Just being in the company of good friends and being in water really is nourishing for me. Listening to loud music while I'm cleaning, interestingly enough. And I actually put my music onto my little, USB speaker today outside. I didn't care if the neighbours had to listen to it or not. That helped me just enjoy washing my car. When I work with clients, because I'm a healer, so I love to support my clients to actually find their joy. I thought about it this morning. I do a lot of different things. I do it through sound healing. I do it through energy work, a number of things. But all of them, when I see the shift that's happened to them and they smile, it's usually the smile that tells me that there's been a shift that happens. That gives me a great deal of fulfillment and satisfaction, and that makes me smile. Coming here to this church makes me smile, and spending time with beautiful people that are, working with Spirit, and even listening to messages from Spirit that may not be for me directly, but knowing that somebody is receiving something of major benefit, that makes me smile. Making something arty, crafty, and feeling the great sense of accomplishment with it. I'm not the best at it, but I've got a good friend who is, and we always have a good old laugh and smile. Looking at old photos and reminiscing, that these are all things you could be doing. I'm just sharing what I do, but how many things have I already shared with you that we can make a difference with? Social media, that's part of our lives, and if you're on it, you'll scroll through, and if you see something that's uplifting and happy, you will smile at it. Going to the op shops with my friends and scoring bargains. It's not usually one bargain, I tend to score a number. Taking photos, taking pictures of beauty, taking pictures of animals, pets. Seeing repetitive numbers on my phone screen. 333, 222, 555, I take a snapshot. But also when I see repetitive numbers on my odometer in my car. I know that's crazy, but it makes me smile. Learning something every day. It doesn't matter how old you get, there's always something to learn. So I love learning. And did you know humming can make you smile too? I'm just going to show you a quick diagram here of the Hawkins scale, which is a scale that was created by Dr. David Hawkins. So according to the Hawkins scale, he kind of gave a frequency or a number to each of the emotions that we experience. So shame was kind of at the bottom at around 20, and he said love was 500. So if the scale was from 20 to 1,000, love was 500. But interestingly enough, on this scale, joy is above it. 540. So interesting, isn't it, that we can actually grade where we are emotionally. And if you know that you're feeling any of these lower emotions of anger, fear, grief, know that the energy or the frequency or the vibration of that is lower. And what can you do to raise your vibration, your frequency? So I'm going to finish up. Smiling is a choice. You don't have to smile. We've got free will. And some of you may look at me and think, what's the relevance of smiling in terms of spirituality? Well, if you choose to believe like I do, that our heart is where the brain of our soul resides, and if it's through the act of smiling that we actually benefit our health, our well-being, and that other people feel our soul when we smile, why would we not want to do more of it? So I'd like to leave you with this last quote. And this is by Thich Nhat Hanh. Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. So I hope that I leave that with you, to smile more often. Thank you. What a beautiful and uplifting talk that was, and everyone joined in. Please thank Francis once again. And then we have our special treat of Francis, who's going to take us through a sound healing. If you gently like to close your eyes. And place a gentle smile on your face while you're doing that. And as you connect to your heart, right here in the center of your chest, and recognize that's where your soul resides. And you may even choose to place a hand on your heart. I wonder what your soul would like to communicate with you today. And as we raise our vibration, our frequency, by connecting with our soul, we welcome and invite Spirit to join us here in this sacred space. And maybe even thinking back to when you were a child and there were times where there was no stress, just play, enthusiasm, excitement, pure joy. Feel the energy of love that resides here in your heart emerge, rise to the surface, flow out through your heart like a beautiful blossoming bloom. And know that your heart energy can be felt, not just in the short distance around you, but externally all the way out to the edges of the earth. Your heart and the love and the joy in your heart has the potential to heal the world. And stay connected now. Stay connected with your heart. And feel the frequency of love. And feel that connection with your gentle smile. That energy down from your heart, down the base of your spine, all the way down to your feet. All the way into the earth. Connecting you with Mother Earth, Gaia. Bring the energy back up now. Bring it up. Bring it back up to your heart and up through your throat, up through your head, up through your crown, all the way up into the atmosphere above you. We are a divine creation of the cosmos. We are a divine being that is here to evolve the consciousness of the earth and all of its inhabitants. how divine does it feel to be in your body, experiencing all the emotions, touch, love, even pain has a beauty to it. And how good does it feel to be in love with yourself? Love begins with you. It begins in your heart. And it begins with a smile. So smile into your heart now. And let the joy in. And let your smile be your healing. So when you're ready, in your own time, gently bring your awareness back to the room, back to where you're sitting, and again, back to the smile, that beautiful smile, right there on your face. Welcome back.